American cars have always been at the forefront of design, power, and innovation. But over the years, some of the wildest creations have been forgotten. From futuristic prototypes to outrageous muscle cars, these are the 25 wildest American cars you might have never heard of. Let's dive in. Number 1. 1960 Chrysler Exner Concept Car XNR. Built by one of America's top auto designers, Virgil Exner, the Plymouth XNR was a unique concept car which had a single seat on the left side of the car, while the cockpit was located in the center. Exner's futuristic design did not disappoint and made the car look like a jet fighter. The extreme styling and asymmetrical shapes like the fin extending along the body made this vehicle different from anything else on the road at the time. Powered by a 225 cubic inch XNR to make 250 horsepower, lean that amazing power output was the key to tuning this prototype, powered off a slant 6-engine Plymouth Valiant XNR. There was no doubt that the Chrysler company wanted to go head-to-head with cars like the Jaguar E-Type, but the design was just too innovative and radical for mass production. This led to only one XNR being built, and after decades of hiding it away, it was auctioned while being restored to its original glory for millions. There is no doubt that this masterpiece clearly represents the bold culture and designs of the 60s American era. Number 2. 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz. The Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz remains one of the most sought-after cars from 1950s America. It marks sheer opulence with its flamboyant chrome grille, jaw-dropping tail fins, and the foldable roof all signified grace, style, and wealth. The heavy-built design boasted performance impressive enough to match the aesthetics, with a 335 horsepower, 365 cubic inch V8 engine propelled the car. The 1958 Eldorado Biarritz was equipped with an astonishing array of tech. Power windows, powered seats, and even the roof was remotely manageable. All were unseen luxuries of the era. The Biarritz had an extremely limited availability. Only 815 cars were produced, which makes it a true collector's piece of history. The beautiful engineering serves as a symbol of the excessive 1950s, and its place is firmly established in American history. Number 3. 1970 AMC Muscle Car. The AMC Rebel Muscle Car was a first in AMC's line of cars during the fierce muscle car competition that took over in the late 60s into the early 70s. This muscle car was certainly not afraid to make a statement on the roads with its striking red, white, and blue paint job. However, the appeal was not solely based on appearance. Its 390 cubic inch V8 engine that produced a staggering 340 horsepower was more than enough to carry out the appeal. Having the power to go from 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds surely made it stand out from the other competitors. AMC muscle vehicles were easy on the pockets, giving a chance to the common man to ride in style. However, the product didn't rake in massive profits as only 2,326 units were created. Today, the muscle car is recognized as a rare artifact that makes it one of the unforgettable vehicles manufactured in America. Number 4. 1936 Stout Scarab. Some people call the Stout Scarab the first minivan in the world, but in reality, it outshined modern vans by an incredible margin. The vehicle was created by William Stout in the 1930s, and it drew inspiration from the Art Deco era with its highly smooth, futuristic torso. While most people in the world were still boots on the ground, the vehicle's innovative cushioned interior was completely modular and could be adjusted according to the needs of the user. The seat-table combination was so novel that it seemed impossible. It was equipped with a Ford V8 engine mounted at the rear, which along with the missing hood was otherworldly. The Stout Scarab was a remarkable vehicle, but unfortunately only 9 were produced due to the cost to manufacture the vehicle. It now sits in a museum, a piece of audacious and prophetic innovation. Number 5. 1962 Ford Thunderbird Sports Roadster. If luxury with a sporty edge is what you seek, then the 1962 Ford Thunderbird Sports Roadster is for you. It comes packed with a 390 cubic inch V8 engine that lets you effortlessly manipulate its 300 horsepower. Not to forget, the only 1,400 units were built, so Along with beauty, this automobile offers extreme rarity. Today, collectors miss out on its one-of-a-kind luxury sporty blend, and therefore this vehicle is considered a classic by the masses. The iconic lines of the Thunderbird are distinctive, while its fiberglass tonneau cover serves the purpose of turning the back seat into a sports car with space for just two passengers. Number 6. 1973 Buick Riviera Boat Tail. The boat tail design on the 1973 Buick Riviera, often referred to as the Jewel of the Great Lakes, depicts one of the most audacious architectural endeavors executed by GM in the early 1970s. The elongated rear end was designed in a fastback style, which resembles the hull of a boat, defining the appropriate aft of the vehicle. With a 455 cubic inch V8 engine, the Riviera had up to 250 horsepower, making for effortless cruising. While the design was considered controversial then, the Boattail Riviera has emerged as a model of great taste and provocative design that is beloved by collectors. Buick made the Boattail from 1971 to 1973, making it a unique chapter in the history of vehicles. Number 7. 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray L88. This 1967 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray L88 is one of the rarest Corvettes ever made and is considered the most powerful. The L88 was built for racing and came with a 427 cubic inch V8 engine that Chevrolet claimed produced 430 horsepower. The car was more powerful than what was advertised and is believed to have produced closer to 550 horsepower. The L88 was a dedicated track car, which is why Chevrolet purposely downplayed the power so that casual buyers wouldn't make the purchase. To further save weight, air conditioning, radio, and heaters weren't installed in the car. Because only 20 L88 Corvettes were built, it is easily one of the most coveted models in Corvette's history. The car is a true legend among American muscle cars due to its aggressive styling and unsurpassed performance. Number 8. The GM LeSabre Concept Car, 1951. Although the automotive industry was decades away from where it is today, the GM LeSabre concept was undoubtedly way ahead of its time and an absolute masterpiece. With its dramatic tail fins, wraparound windscreen, and jet-style front grille, this car truly looks straight out of a sci-fi film. Designed by Harley Earl, the LeSabre was designed with the intention of looking like a car of the future. It was a pioneer in the use of magnesium and aluminum in car manufacturing, and had state-of-the-art technologies such as a rain sensor that could automatically close a convertible's top. While the LeSabre was never put into production, it single-handedly altered the ways vehicles were designed in America during the 1950s, and still remains one of the most vital concept cars in history. Number 9. Buick GNX of 1987. The Buick GNX of 1987 is a muscle car variant of the Buick Grand National. It was built to be the ultimate sleeper car. The Buick Regal was a standard car, or so it was thought. On the inside, the car had a turbo 3.8-liter V6 engine with 276 horsepower and 360 pound-feet. Now the GNX was capable of 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, making it faster than most exotic sports cars of the time. 547 GNX models were built, and due to their simplistic design with over-the-top performance, they are now rare and expensive. Number 10. Dodge Charger Daytona of 1969. The Daytona of 1969 was made with one clear objective: to win NASCAR races. The car had a rear wing that was huge and a front cone nose to ensure the car held maximum aerodynamic power. The Charger Daytona could attain 200 miles per hour easily. The car also had a powerful 426 HEMI V8 engine that ensured the car was as strong as it was automatic. Due to NASCAR rules, Dodge made 503 road variants of the car, making it one of the rarest muscle cars of all time. With its one-of-a-kind design and racing culture, it is a gem for car lovers. Number 11. 1970 Mercury Cyclone. Spoiler 2. The Mercury Cyclone Spoiler 2 was a brash runner for NASCAR that was also form over function, which was characterized by that long nose and fastback design, making it a legitimate competitor for the track. Under the Ford bulge, it held a 429 cubic inch V8, which was good for more than 370 horsepower. It wasn't so much the performance that made these cars wild. It was the limited production numbers. Only around 500 Cyclone Spoiler 2s were made by Mercury, just enough for racing homologation. Those attributes, along with its eye-catching styling and scarcity, help make it one of the most memorable muscle-era cars. Number 12. 1963 Chrysler Turbine Car. Chrysler Turbine Car Experimental Car. A futuristic automotive experiment in an automotive era. With a jet turbine engine in place of a traditional internal combustion engine, it could be fueled on nearly anything: gasoline, diesel, or even tequila. It sported a space-age look with a bronze-colored body and a turbine-style grille. Chrysler made only 55 of these for testing purposes, and most were then destroyed, leaving only a few still around today. But the turbine car wasn't just a concept, it was a product of its time, an ambitious test of the automotive art, albeit with less than stellar results outside of its engineering. Number 13. 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am SE. The 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am SE was an instant icon, bolstered by an unforgettable film that likely needs no introduction: Smokey and the Bandit. With its black and gold color scheme, screaming chicken, hood decal, and T-top roof, it stood out as one of the most recognizable cars of the later 1970s. Beneath the skin, though, it came with a 6.6-liter V8, which made sure there's plenty of muscle to match the aggressive looks. Not the fastest car of its day, the Trans Am SE nevertheless captured the spirit of the American rebel and became an enduring pop culture icon. Number 14. 1966 Oldsmobile Toronado. The 1966 Oldsmobile Toronado was one of the first luxury cars to incorporate innovative technology. It offered new front-wheel drive, the first American car to offer FWD in decades, combined with a whopping 425 cubic inch V8 cranking out 385 horsepower. Sporty, modern styling, with some tips, hidden headlights, and sculpted lines that turned heads. It arguably came a couple decades too early, and its engineering set the stage for a plethora of front-wheel drive vehicles to follow. It's a heady mix of 1960s-inspired styling and next-gen technology. Number 15. 1970 Ford Torino King Cobra. CFG Ford Torino King Cobra. Despite of the actual 1980s NASCAR fiasco, barely any automaker ever built a real prototype in order to make themselves competitive with Dodge's Daytona and Plymouth's Superbird on the NASCAR front. The low-slung body and aerodynamic nose cone was designed to reduce drag and increase speed. Only 3 prototypes were ever constructed, and that was all the King Cobra ever saw before Ford walked away from NASCAR. One of the craziest American cars that the majority of people have never seen in the flesh, thanks to its rarity and unique design. Number 16. Cadillac Cyclone Concept, 1959. Perhaps the most space-age design to emerge from the late 1950s, Cadillac Cyclone Concept. It boasted a bubble canopy, missile-like nose cones, and somewhat jet-like tail fins, making it look like something right out of a sci-fi film. Technology such as radar-based crash avoidance equipment embedded in the Cyclone that was literally decades ahead of its time. Though it never made it into production, the Cyclone is one of the most creative concept cars ever built. Number 17. 1971 AMC Gremlin X. The AMC Gremlin X was a small car with an urban crazy soul. Marketed towards young drivers, the Gremlin X came with wild color combinations, racing stripes, and a surprise to the little beast, a V8 engine option that made it quick for the size. While its design was definitely love it or hate it in a market of big cars in the early 70s, its quirky, chopped-off looks also ensured it never blended in. The Gremlin X was a lighthearted and cool ride that resonated with the times. Number 18. 1965 Shelby Cobra 427. The legend that is the Shelby Cobra 427 is one born on American soil. This lightweight roadster, Backed by immense power from its 427 cubic inch V8 engine in excess of 500 horsepower in road-going trim, was developed by Carroll Shelby. With a 0 to 60 time of just 4.3 seconds, it was one of the quickest cars of the 90s. The 427 Cobra became an American muscle icon with its aggressive looks, wide stance, and thunderous performance. Original Cobras are some of the most valuable collector cars in the world today. Number 19, 1975, Bricklin SV1. Bricklin SV1. At its core, the Bricklin SV1 was a sports car, but the main objective was safety. The SV1, which came equipped with gull-wing doors, a bonded roll cage, and shock-absorbing bumpers, was designed by Canadian entrepreneur Malcolm Bricklin. With a Ford or AMC V8 under the hood, its performance was decent enough, but it was heavy and not particularly fast. Just over 3,000 units were built before the company went bust, making it a unique weirdo to behold, but one of the better cult classics. Number 20, 1955 Chevrolet Nomad. The 1955 Chevrolet Nomad's two-door wagon configuration combined practicality with the performance of a rear-wheel drive coupe. Sharing the same V8 engines and much of the body as the Bel Air, the Nomad was part of the classic Tri-5 lineup, one of Chevy's most iconic groups of cars, with unique features like the sloping roofline and chrome tailgate bars. It was a family car for people who wanted a sporty, fun family car. Though not a commercial juggernaut, Nomads rank among the Anglo-American classics that inspire the most near-religious fanaticism in respect of owner loyalty and collectability.